Right. Oh, sorry about that. Now on to part two. Now, in Vedic, your ascendant is in Leo, and it's in the nakshatra Purva Palguni. And Purva Palguni is the entertainer. Um, Now, the thing is, I won't go on too much about Leos because I'm sure you know about Leos, even if you aren't one in tropical, which I forgot to check actually. Sorry about that. But I'm sure you know anyway. So, you have all the recruitments of being a Leo. But Purva Palguni is interesting because sometimes it can be a bit of an extreme lunar mansion. There can be something extreme or eccentric about it. So, and there's some kind of entertaining aspect, but the thing is, that doesn't mean necessarily you're an entertainer. It just might be that you approach whatever you do, whether it's a politician or an accountant or, whatever. You might sort of take on an entertaining, make something fun, because you're trying to always, like, convey things to the masses so that it's more digestible. Even if whether it's a teacher or a social worker, I don't know, I feel like you might always try and make a new angle to it. Your Mercury is also in your first house, and your Mercury is in Maga. Maga is just like fire. I mean, it's also in Leo, by the way, of course, but it kind of denotes a real fiery intellect. So you're not just smart. It's like synapses, thinking. I just feel like your brain's working, So it's like you're an intellectual artist. What I mean by that is, you could be one of those type of artistic or creative types who has a wit to it, who there's some kind of knowledge to it, fact to it, as opposed to, like, let's just say Frida Kahlo, how she was just so emotional, it was always about the heart, it wasn't really about the head, whereas let's just say whether you agree with him or not, or like him or not. I know Damien Hirst, he's an artist, but he has a take on things, he's intellectual, he tries to make a statement about society, and I feel like that's kind of your niche. I'm not saying you're like Damien Hirst, because obviously I don't know you from Adam, but perhaps that's your approach. And Mercury being in Leo, I feel is a lot more important than Mercury being in your first house. I feel like the Leo thing is a lot stronger, and coupled with the first house, I feel like intellect might be one of the characteristics that you're probably known for. I touched on your moon Virgo. I mean, the moon Virgo, apart from your mom probably being sort of more exacting, your mother having quite a station in your life, right? Quite a presence in your life. All I will say is moon with Virgo, it's always pay heed to who you hang out with. Because it seems like you may not mind, where people come from, and you're very forgiving, but it might not benefit you always. So just, with moon and Virgo. And, I was just wondering, because now I'm just going to go to the top of my head, because I don't want to be like too static, because, that anyone can do. You can Google and YouTube that. One thing that kept popping in my head when I was doing your chart, besides the obvious references to Mars and, all all the significators of that, it seems like, I don't know, was your dad an overseas soldier? Like an army person who was, or military person who was stationed overseas, or I don't know. I feel that. And second thing I'm feeling, and this is, I don't know if you believe in past lives, karma, etc. One thing that popped into my head a lot as I was doing your chart and studying for it, which was really enjoyable and fun, by the way, was I was getting gladiator. You know, like Roman gladiator? And for some reason, I was seeing you as like a really popular, powerful gladiator. And it was almost like, this is going to sound crazy, but I have to go with it. It was like you were so good at being a gladiator in, I don't know, Rome or one of its outposts. You know, it could be Corinthia, who knows where, right? Jerusalem, you know, Scotland. But you were so good that you bought your own freedom. If that makes it any, I mean, does that resonate? Like, so, because, you know, usually gladiators were either captured or you were from a poor family and, you know, you were sold by your family, right? So you either had to pay back a debt of the initial sum your parents sold you for, or your family, whatever, sold you for, or, you know, you were captured and you know, and then there was like a battle somewhere and they take the spoils of war, which was people, and you didn't have to become a gladiator, you see. And like I said, this kept popping up and I thought, okay, by the time the fifth time it popped up, I thought this has to be something. But the thing is, you were so good at it. You were like, it's like a soldier, but with skill, with entertaining, because you had to entertain to the crowd, right? And when it really was like Gladiator, and you know, when Russell Crowe goes, "Are you not entertained?" And you were so good at it that was your freedom, and that's what made you rich, and that's what I know. I'm getting this theme over and over again, because basically when I go through your chart, that's one of the essences. So anyway, that's part 2.